Hey, what's up everybody? Will with Southern Grails, back here with another video. Hope everybody had a good new year, good holidays, Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. So I know it's been a while. I know my last video I said I had some goals. I was gonna be purging my collection. If any of you guys have been following me on Instagram or follow my eBay auctions, you'll see that I've been pulling some pretty good stuff. It's been tough. Doing the purge. I've let go of some stuff that I've had for a long time, but it feels good. It feels good to, you know, be released of some of the records. You know, and any of y'all know what I'm talking about can vouch for this. You know, you have stuff in your collection that you might not listen to that much. That is valuable, but it may be more valuable to somebody else than you. So, you know, I've had some stuff like for example, I had a Solomon Burke debut on Apollo. I've had that record forever. I finally let it go. You know, Karen Jones. I had a bunch of rare promos. Any of you guys that follow me, you know. But it's been a great start to the new year. I know on my last video I was gonna kind of take a break because I went so hard the year before. But now the new year started, man. I've been back at it. So I got a nice stack, man, some killer new finds for the collection. First up, Happy New Year. So I responded to an ad in North Georgia, right below the Tennessee line. I mean, this is chicken house country. You know, if you drive to that town and you smell something, it is what it is. You know, and I used to live up in the mountains, so I know how it is up in North Georgia. And when that wind catches those houses, you know what it is. But anyway, this guy up in the middle of nowhere, he had this collection, and he had posted some pictures on Facebook, and you could see some okay stuff like some AC/DC, kind of beat up, you know, stuff like that. So the guy wanted me to call him first because it's like a 130-mile drive. So I called him and we were talking, and then he's like, yeah, man, you know, I just had a couple people left yesterday and grabbed some nice stacks of records. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, and y'all ever dealt with this, you know, it's deflating. It really is, because you think, man, it's been cherry picked clean. But I found a few other spots on the way up there. Anyway, I'm making this long story. Dude had some incredible punk records up there that nobody touched. Let's go through these. First up, this Cryptic Slaughter. This is Money Talks. What year did this come out? This is original 1987, real speed, thrash, dark metal. Now all these punk records, these are all live on my eBay auction right now. So if you want a shot at them, I'll start all the bids at $1. You know, I like punk. I've really only got like one punk record, unless you count the Stooges as punk. But this isn't like that. This is that real thrash speed, like hardcore punk. Oh man, and I couldn't believe it, man, when I started pulling these out. Exciter, Violence and Force. That's that OG on Megaforce. Check out that cover. That's scary too. That one's up at auction. Radis. This and they're clean too, man. But everything else, like he had like you know, Pink Floyd and Zeppelin and Queen, they were freaking trash. That's a clean OG right there, Radis. This one here, I hope I don't get in trouble for it. ISM, A Diet for the Worms. This is a OG 83, really dark, but look at that cover. Now this one, I've had this before. I had a little bit of punk back in the day. I ended up selling a lot to Dylan at Noble Records so I could get a really, let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna show y'all. I sold a bunch of punk for that. This thing had popped up, and it was unbelievably clean. And I traded a bunch of punk for that. Had to have that. Anyway, but I had a copy of this, and it's so cool. Fear, More Beer, the OG on Restless. I mean, this is a pretty cool punk record, but it's up at auction now. Gotta let it go. And finally, man, this was awesome. OG Anthrax, Fistful of Metal. Anthrax, gotta love it. All right, so that was some pretty cool punk that I had found. Now let's get to the good stuff, the jazz. And I got some other rock too. I can't remember where I found this at. I don't remember if I found this in a, I can't remember if I found this at the flea market. I can't even remember no more. But Bobby Timmons, Chun King, OG on Prestige. Love Bobby Timmons. Man, been around since the early hard bop days. Absolutely awesome, man. Been looking for this record for a long time. One of Bobby Timmons' best. Okay, don't sleep on this guy. Harold Land, A New Shade of Blue on Mainstream. This is the only Harold Land I got in my collection. Really good stuff. Got a smooth tone, smooth sound. Let's see who else is on this. Don't sleep on those Mainstream records. You can get them really cheap. You got Bobby Hutcherson on the vibes, Bill Henderson on the piano, and Billy Hart on the drums, Matume on the conga. Really nice. It's a really good one. Dude, I was stoked. I was stoked to find this. This is a small, on the way back from the collection where I just got all that punk, there was a small little record store. It was like a record / antique store in the middle of Cartersville, I think. But I just wanted to try to make my trip worth it, you know, and made some stops on the way home. And he had some incredible stuff. So I grabbed a nice stack, man. We made a sweet deal. Damn near gave everything half off, but this one was, I really wanted to keep this, but it's at auction right now. If you want a shot at it, it's really great. That's Duke Pearson's Prairie Dog. This is a mono promo, guys. Really clean wax. Really good Duke Pearson. Man, I was so tempted to keep this. The cover's got a little split and a little ring wear. Honestly, guys, if the cover was cleaner, because I'm a jazz snob. I mean, it's just the way it is. I would have kept this. Man, I was really tempted to clean it, to keep it, but I think somebody else enjoyed it. I got it such a good deal. Maybe I can make $1 and somebody else will enjoy it. Okay, these are my keepers. Man, it's been a great start to the year so far. Been on the look for this guy. I don't have anything else of him as a lead man, but he is a fantastic jazz composer. But his compositions are just, oh, it's good stuff. It's Benny Golson, the other side of Benny Golson. This is an OG. I think this is 1959. I think this is 1959. Yeah, I believe it. Nope. No, it was recorded in 58. So yeah, it was released in 59. I mean, just look at this lineup. Curtis Fuller, Philly Joe, Johnny Merritt. Really good, man. I need more Benny Golson. He's got a few on Blue Note. He's got a handful on new jazz that are really hard to find. Anybody out there, y'all want to do some trading? You got some OG Benny Golson? Hit me up. Okay. I had there's a guy that I talked to in oh, I'm having a brain fart. It's called The Village, around Atlanta, around the historic like old towns and stuff. But he had a bunch of stuff, but he wasn't a jazz guy. He was a rock and psych, prog and things like that. But he had some incredible jazz, and he didn't want it. He didn't clean them. And dude, when I was flipping through it, I've shopped with him before. He's like, man, I just got a box. It's got Coltrane and Miles Davis and stuff like that. He's like, come check it out. So I went in there and checked it out, and my jaw dropped on the floor, man. And he made me I really felt like I robbed him. But he knew his stuff. He's like, I know what it is. I ain't got no deal. I was like, that's my wheelhouse. So he had this right here, and I've been looking for this. It's not rare, but I've been holding out for a good clean copy, and I found it. That's the Horace Silver Quintet. blowing the blues away. Look how clean that thing is. Woo! It's minty. But the cover was beat to death. So luckily, I hit up the old Discogs and found one. Guy had like a BG++ cover and a trashed record for like $40. The wax that he had was just so, you know, unbelievably clean. Can't see it. So I Frankensteined it. I married the two together. Ended up selling that one and got me a good clean copy to add to the blue notes. I've only got a million other blue notes to go before I complete the collection, but I think I got some of the rare ones out of the way. He also had this. I couldn't believe it because I've seen copies of this. I've seen copies of a later pressings, but never a fully OG. That's a Miles Davis Quintet Sextet, original 1956. I mean, super clean. It's got a little light scuff, man, but it plays BG plus. I mean, this sounds so good, man. This sounds so. Every track on here is a banger. Let's see who you got. You got Milt on the vibes, Jackie McLean, Art Taylor, Ray Bryant, Percy Heath on the bass. This is killer for 1956. Super happy to have that. Okay, this one I'm debating on whether to keep it, but I'm going to keep it for now because I'm going to enjoy it. And that's the late great Townes Van Zandt. That's the OG with the poppy. These are notorious. It's got a little wear right there, but the wax is clean. The wax is super clean. I'm really growing on Townes Van Zandt. I got his original debut. I got his high, low, and in between. Probably one of the more rare ones. Still need that self-titled. And there's a few other ones that are really hard to get. But we need to talk about Townes. This is an incredible songwriter. Really, you know, his tone and the way he writes songs, the way he sings, you really feel the emotion. I'm really happy to have this. These are hard. These are difficult to find, and the Townes are flying off the shelf, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. People appreciate, you know how he writes music and the way that how he did write music and the way that he plays. Even the young kids. All right, we're getting down to the last four. These are incredible, man. I've been looking for these for a long time, and I'm so happy to have it. Boom. Take me back to my younger days. A Soundgarden, Bad Motive Finger, OG. What else can you say, man? I got their Super Unknown. This one's better. It's got that more grunge. You know, they went to that alternative sound. This one's got a little more of that grunge sound. Man, it's so good. I'm so happy to finally have this. These got a cool original inner sleeve. Soundgarden stuff, man, it's getting hard to find, especially original presses. Super happy to have that. So shout out to y'all follow him on Instagram, Some Jazz. He had posted his top 12 or 10 wants for 2023, and I had two that he wanted. He wanted the Genesis by Charles Sullivan on Strata East, and he wanted the Hannibal Marvin Peterson. Oh God, I just had a brain fart. Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. It's the one about, I don't know, I can't think of, maybe I need some more coffee. But it's Hannibal Marvin Peterson, unbelievable. This guy's a trumper lover. So anyway, I messaged him, I was like, man, I got two. Show me something, and this guy's got top-notch stuff. He's got, unbelievable stuff. But he's a trumpet man, and so am I. And I love the trumpet too. It's a difficult instrument to play. Anyway, I said, man, I'll be willing to come off of these because I got the Hannibal Marvin Peterson cheap. I got it in Florida, like 3 or 4 years ago for like $75, right? I got the Charles Sullivan from Dylan at Noble Records some years ago. a couple years ago for like 75 bucks. So I'm already 100, like around 150 invested in those two. So I was like, man, show me what you got. He's like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for OG Blue Notes. If you got it. He sent me a picture of this. My jaw dropped. Now this isn't the most incredible album, but it's one of the rare ones on the Blue Note label. And we sent pictures back and forth, and it was a no-brainer. He was happy, I was happy. And that's Fred Jackson's Hootin' and Tootin', OG Mono. Man, this thing's got the ear, everything. It is minty. This is a difficult one to find on the Blue Note label. He went on and did some other side stuff with people, but this is his only release as a lead man. And it didn't have no success when it came out. I think this is 1960, I believe. 1960. Anyway, yeah, it just didn't have success. They didn't re-release it. And I've listened to this thing now probably 3-4 times in a row. And the compositions they're okay. They're not bad, but just and I get it when you compare it to some of the great lineups with like Hank Mobley and Jackie and Miles and it's just, I mean, you could tell it ain't up to their standard, but it's still, Rudy makes a great recording. I mean, the guys still play really well. It's classic hard bop, really good. I'm so unbelievably happy to have this. Thought I'd never see it. It'd be one of those white whales along with the Hank Mobley that you just never find. All right, last two guys. I've been after a copy of this as long as I've been alive. I've come across a few copies. I've come across an OG Mono that was beat to death. I've never seen this one in person. Finally got me a copy. Coltrane's Giant Steps, OG stereo. Now, of course, the monos on the black label, those are difficult to find, and they can fetch you a pretty penny. But this stereo copy, man, it sounds really great. If your ears aren't adjusted to this type of jazz, it can throw you for a loop. Extremely difficult. But if you get it, if you have an ear for jazz, you really it all makes sense. It all makes sense. It's really funny when you hear him play Giant Steps, because people have made videos and comments about it before. When you hear some of the guys come in with their solos, how difficult it is to try to follow the chord progression that Coltrane composed. Very difficult. Tommy Flanagan kind of struggles, even though he's a virtuoso piano player. I mean, he can play anything. So difficult, man. But this is creme de la creme. It's Coltrane's masterpiece. So happy to have it. Okay, guys, last one. I couldn't believe I found this. I got it at such a great deal. Honestly, and take a swig first. It's gonna be embarrassing to some to say this. I don't give a damn. You can go pound sand. Honestly, I didn't even know who this band was 5 years ago. But once I heard them, say about 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, oh my God, that sound is a little bit ahead of its time for the late 60s, early 70s. So I've been on the lookout for a copy. Really tough to find because they're usually beat to death. This copy's unbelievably pristine, and I couldn't be more happy to have it. And that's the Stooges. This is the original debut on electric. Doesn't have their name on it. Look at that wax, guys. I mean, this thing is near freaking mint wax. Super clean sleeve. I mean, I couldn't have been more thrilled to find this. I mean, this thing is wow. This thing is so good. Iggy's voice is right up front. Like, it is right up front. The guitar is so dirty. I mean, it's recorded so well. Everything is spaced out like perfectly. The drums, the guitar, Iggy's voice. You know, he doesn't have to scream, even though he does, but he's right up in your face. Oh nah, my. I mean, it's incredible. I found their Funhouse. If y'all follow me on that crazy dig a year or so ago in that guy's basement, I'm really happy to have it. To have this first, super duper happy. I got chills. I know we're nerds, right? But super happy. All right, guys, that's it. Great start to the new year, man. I'm so stoked to have some of these incredibly rare records in my collection. Like I said, y'all guys want to shot the punk, but I also got some other stuff along with the punk. Got some good classic rock at auction right now. My next auction, y'all want to see a little taste? I've actually got a little taste of some of what I'm going to put up. This is what I'm prepping for my next auction. These are my personal collections. It's even difficult to show these right now because I don't want to let them go. But I'm gonna let them go because I've accumulated so much. You can't keep everything. So first up, I'm gonna be letting go of my McTrax. I'll be letting go of OG Dolomite, Big Star Third, Timothy Leary and the Asherah Temple, Original Pluto. Look at that. That's near mint wax, guys. That's a banger. That's a grail. Tangerine Dream. It's not the first original with the balloon, but those are hard to find. But that's a second. I'll be letting go of my Danzig. I appreciate it, but I just don't listen to it that much more. Original Reaction. Look at that. That thing's near mint. That thing is near. Oh, talk about a grail, guys. Pink Fairies, Neverland, and the Pretty Things. Get the picture. So all that good UK stuff, except for the Danzig, it's gonna be up on auction probably in a couple weeks. But that's it. I'll be back, man, guys. You know I'm always out there digging, and I'll be back, man. I'll be back with a stack of some killer stuff to show you, and we'll see you later.